Hey everyone, Sovereign is Supreme here. It's been a very long time, well, me, since I have made a video, so welcome back. Make yourself at home. I even have some dinner, just in case we have a meet and greet. Depends on how long your live chat goes on, but I'm happy to be here. And I'm happy to use my voice and to express what's been on my mind because it's been a while and I'm ready to just dive right into things. So I would just like to ask, how has everyone been doing? You know, keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak. How has life been treating you? Any new developments? Well, anyways, in today's video, I will be sharing with you why you should just be yourself no matter what's going on, because people are going to always have an opinion about you. Hey, what's up? People are going to always have an opinion about how you should be, how you should talk, what you should do. But at the end of the day, it's what you think is right, regardless of what people think about you, because people are going to have some helpful opinions and they're also going to have some not so helpful opinions about you. And if you are shape shifting to every person's demand, you're going to feel unstable. You know, everything is great. How about you? I've been doing great actually. I've been doing well, and relatively speaking, I'm happy. I have a lot of knowledge I would like to share, but yeah. Yes, haha. Ran away from a bad situation and got into a good one. Exactly. I think that everything is a blessing in disguise. Even if it seems like you're cursed to deal with a certain situation, it's always an opportunity to become a better version of yourself. There's always room to improve, even when it seems like the situation is perpetually hopeless. And I think that that's a lesson that I'm so glad to have learned because it's opening my eyes up to a world of insight and enlightenment. I've been enlightened about the fact that it just depends on how you respond to life circumstances that determines whether or not, you know, you're in a clear or not, whether or not you are going to benefit from what's transpiring. Because, like I always say, life is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Everything is a lesson for you to become a more self actualized version of yourself. And as I've stated before, even in the valley times, you are as a mountain. You're as a mountain, and if you feel less than a mountain, then it's just your false self. And don't get me wrong, how you feel about a certain situation is definitely valid, it's important, and it's healthy to acknowledge it. But at the same time, it's important to realize that 9 times out of 10, we do not realize how powerful we actually are as a species. And it doesn't matter what you believe in, it doesn't matter if you're a humanist or a supernaturalist, a fatalist, so to speak. You have to realize that you likely have not tapped into your full potential, and it seems like the situation is overwhelming. But in all actuality, there's nothing that you really cannot handle. It's just a matter of finding a better way to cope with life in a more healthy and constructive manner. So, I would like to know, what are your experiences with this, and what insight and input do you have to provide about this particular subject? Because it's oftentimes when you forget who you are that you can learn who you really are. Because society puts this type of pressure on you, saying you have to be this person or be that person. But when you think about it, 85% of your dialogue is not your dialogue. It is someone else's dialogue. It is some event's dialogue. It's society's dialogue. It's unrealistic expectations dialogue, but only a very small percentage of it is actually your dialogue. Even though it's all happening within you, but it's you internalizing external circumstances. It's your internal conditions internalizing external circumstances. So when you realize that, you can transmute everything. You can transmute the energy, you can transmute the power dynamic, and finally you can get to a point of neutrality and willingness where you can say, hey, I know this is where I'm at, but this is temporary and I'm in control of my life because my internal condition creates my external circumstances. And it's easier said than done, but it's just something about life has a way of pairing you with the worst case scenario. And next thing you know, you come out with the best case scenario and you realize that it's an opportunity for you to pass with flying colors and recognize patterns that are trying to get your attention. Maybe even synchronicities. It sounds youngin', but life happens for you to open your eyes. I think everyone has their eyes open, but only 5% of us truly has our eyes wide open. There's a difference between eyes wide open and eyes wide shut, and partly being eyes wide open is knowing the difference, I say. I don't know enough about this, at least I don't think I do, but I do know that Eyes Wide Shut is a Stanley Kubrick movie with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. So, anyways, I know I digressed, but you should be yourself because you really have nothing to lose. You think that you're losing yourself by being someone else, but really, at the end of the day, you eventually learn how to be yourself because you unlearn who you thought you were. You realize that who you thought you were was just a shell of who you really are. And for those reasons alone, you have nothing to lose by being more like yourself every day in every way. And it's one thing to feel like yourself, it's one thing to act like yourself, it's one thing to think like yourself. But if you're not being like yourself, you are not positively serving your soul's purpose. And when I say your soul's purpose, I mean who you really are on a deep, soulful level. You have a soulful knowing of who you are. And if you cannot consciously recollect this, it is in your subconscious, and you have to get perfectly aligned with who you are to begin to discern the difference between who you think you are and really are. Because I guarantee you, all the things you think you are just code names for what society gave you. It's not who you actually are, because for you to know who you are, it's going to take an extra thought naturally. It's not something that you can just right off the bat say. And it can be frustrating because you're wondering, well, who am I? If not this, if not that, if not who they tell me to do, if not who they tell me who I am, if they don't tell me who I am, then who am I? You know, how can I discern what they say I am versus who I say I am, who I know I am? And I think this is the question that we all have to ask ourselves. It does not matter if you say it in the first person, the second person, the third person, but if you refer to this in the third person, it may give you extra clarity and you may find answers quicker. But anytime you ask yourself questions, try asking yourself an interrogative as if you're someone else, as if it's a third party, because you can be more objective with yourself when you're not pretending when you're pretending not to be yourself. And yet, this helps you to understand yourself better. If that makes any sense, please let me know. If you want me to expound on what I'm saying, let me know that too. But I'm finding that the truth is oftentimes very counterintuitive. Common sense ain't so common. And wisdom is quite unconventional. So that's to debunk some common proverbs or some widely perpetuated myths in the form of proverbs, however you want to say it. It's simply not true to say that common sense is common, conventional wisdom is conventional, and that the truth is intuitive, because oftentimes it's not. It's the opposite of what we think, because what you know is oftentimes infused with what you think you know. And the question is, are we supposed to understand the following? Which of the following better? Which of the following are we supposed to go by? I know what I don't know, or I don't know what I don't know. I repeat, I know what I don't know, or I don't know what I don't know. Either way, there's a knowing there. There's a willingness to admit that you don't have all the answers. But how would you know what you don't know if you don't know it? Is it intellect? Is it instinct? Or is it intuition? Because while you might not think you have all the answers, and you don't, but your intuition, on the other hand, knows a lot more than you give it credit for. Just because you cannot consciously know something does not mean you know it. Okay? There are at least three parts to us when you think about it. At least. You have the conscious, you have the subconscious, and you have the unconscious. Some things you know on all three levels. Some things you only know on two levels. One level. The point is, you have a sense of knowing that you could be doing better with your life, and you could be more like you. You could be yourself. Because we all get this feeling that we have to be a certain somebody to be accepted by society. But even in classic literature, you have characters who did everything by the book, but they still did not get the life they deserved. Good Samaritans, so to speak, who always played the part, played the role, and was a goody-goody, so to speak, who still did not get the fate they deserved. Because it wasn't their fate. It was a sick, sadistic, twisted fate that they were given, and they accepted it as if it was their own. So quite frankly, it's best to be yourself, because you do not deserve to share an unfair fate with a perpetually unfair ultimatum. You deserve to be yourself, because that is freedom and completion, and every being deserves that. Every being deserves to embrace who they were meant to be. And when I say fully aligned with your soul's purpose, I mean you get to the point where you just know what you're supposed to be doing and you do it. Or you have some idea as to what your purpose might be. And when you do it, you receive rewards. That could be monetary, that could be platonically, that could be romantically, that could be spiritually, that could be metaphysically, that could be emotionally, that could be in just about every attribute of your being, or one of all of the aforementioned and then some. When you do what you're supposed to do, when you're inspiring people, when you are leading by example, when you are speaking, even if your voice shakes, when you are standing up for who you are, when you are advocating for a cause that is greater than you, that is when you begin to reap more positive seeds because your deeds are more positive. And I understand that regardless of what creed you may or may not believe in, karma does exist in the sense of action and reaction. Whatever you act upon is what's going to react towards you or respond to you. Your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, your beliefs. It all shapes your character, your destiny, and your faith. And because I have an understanding of that, I want to enlighten other people about this. It's not to feel bad if you've been too negative or if your life is not what you want it to be. Because very few people have 100% that they want, even if they are aligned. Life life is never perfect. But it's just a matter of making progress. And I know I might have stated this before, but meditation helps you to get to a point of willingness, neutrality, and non-judgmental acceptance. The benefits are endless. It helps you to learn more about who you are. It can boost your compassion. It makes you less reactive. It boosts your intelligence. It makes you more focused. It helps you to live longer. It just makes you a better person. It makes you a better you. And when you're able to project your greatest version out into the universe, you're going to get that back. That's going to be reflected back into your daily life. And, regardless if it's forgiveness or just letting go of things, it's in your utmost benefit. Like I said, you have to get to the point where you're at non-judgmental acceptance. Because when you're able to accept yourself, you're able to know yourself better. And you have to examine your life. You have to give your life more meaning, value, and worth. Because you are worthy, you're meaningful. And I'm going to take it a step further to say that you're invaluable. You have a very important purpose. Each and every single one of you have a divine, soulful purpose. There is no such thing as one person having a more special purpose than another. We are all stronger, greater, and better for it when we can fully and thoroughly align with our soul's purpose. And meditation is a way that you can hear your inner ear, not necessarily not audibly, but you're just able to be in tune, tapped into your soul, so to speak. That's when you can say that you have begun to succeed. And it's a matter of acknowledging your smallest accomplishments to get there. It doesn't matter if it takes you 1 try, 100 tries, 1,000 tries, 10,000 tries, 100,000 tries, whatever it takes. All it takes is for you to succeed once, to hit the jackpot once. You only have to hit the lottery once to become beautiful, dirty rich, so to speak, as Lady Gaga says. And you are that, regardless of what's in your bank account or how much money you have or how much money you come from. It's just a state of awareness, a state of being. It's so easy to focus on having or feeling or thinking. We become so over-identified with all of these things. But let me tell you something. None of that matters as much as simply being. Live and let live. For all the things you think you lack, you are. And it doesn't make the void any smaller, but knowing this helps you to make progress since you are everything that you think you need to have and that you think you aren't. But in order to get back to that place, because you come from a place of being, you have to raise your vibration. You have to meditate. You have to do yoga. You have to express what's truly in your heart. You have to operate from the love frequency, so to speak. Because there are several different vibrations, but none are quite as nearly defined as the difference between the love frequency and the fear frequency, or is a high vibe and a low vibe. And we all have a mixture of both. But when you get to a point of willingness and neutrality, that's when your vibration can raise and become higher. And like I said, it doesn't matter where you are. As long as you make some progress every day in every way, you've got nothing to worry about. And if you're not making progress every day in every way, fear not. Right? Try not to beat yourself up. It's okay. No matter where you're at in life, you're going to get through it. You're going to improve, and you're going to have more insight into your internal condition as well as your external circumstances. I'm just going to affirm that for you. These are positive affirmations that I believe in, and I have experienced for myself that when I'm positive and when I have positive expectations, positive results abound. I have seen miraculous transformation in my own life. Within the last year, I have witnessed a lot of miracles because I have changed myself. And I'm going to continue to improve, and I would like to encourage all of you to do the same as I take a water break. Oh, that was refreshing. I would like to mention that I know I said enlightenment had a vibration of 1,000, and it can, but technically enlightenment has a vibration of 700 or higher. I think desire is around 150 or 175, which is kind of a medium low vibration. But I know that willingness and acceptance are neutral. Neutrality is in the middle, and it's at a point of expansion. So essentially, you have high vibe, low vibe, expansion and contraction, love and fear. And whereas enlightenment has a vibration of 700 or higher, shame has a personal vibration of just 20. That's about as low as it can go, I think. So I'm pretty sure we all fall somewhere in between there. And with all that's been going on in the world, I'm pretty sure that it's closer to shame for the collective consciousness. But still, it takes one person at a time to raise the frequency, because the vibration can be heavy, but I will admit that the vibration seems to be lighter this year compared to 2020. A lot calmer. I mean, we still have crazy COVID, but what can I say? Things are getting better. But let me ask you this. Do you want a society that is artificial, or do you want a society that is organic? Let me know in the comment section. Do you want an organic society, or do you want an artificial society? And this could definitely fall on a spectrum. Where, it's not just 100% of anything, it's a mixture. But do you want it to be more of an organic or more of an artificial reality that we're living in? Because astrologically speaking, we are in the age of Aquarius, and this is an age where we experience oneness, unity, collective balance, and peace, and divine order, so to speak. Now is the time. But the and but while I would say it's great to have advancements in STEAM, I'm gonna say STEAM now. Science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. While that is all very important, we should never lose our humanity. Robotics is excellent. AI is excellent. Technological advancement is what we need as a society. The last thing we need is to become cold, um, heartless, like a machine that can only do as is told. We need to be warm machines, because we are machines, but we need to be warm machines, because as much as it's tempting to say one man for himself or herself, whatever, that's just perpetuating an illusion. As a matter of fact, the pronouns I and me are actually an illusion. You may be wondering, well, why are you using it? Well, that's because to an extent I'm identified with it. And so are you. I'm not asking you to say we or us for everything. I'm asking for you to consider the possibility that you are not I or me. You are simply the universe experiencing itself in physical incarnation, so to speak. And like I said once before, you do not have to believe in a particular God or entity, but we can all say that there is something that we can't explain about our existence that is beyond human comprehension. So it doesn't matter if you're a humanist or if you're a supernaturalist. Deep down, I've believed that we all know that there's something greater than us. And that something is within. It's within, it's around, it's knowable, it's unknowable. It's just about everything in the book. But we may not always be able to define it. Sometimes, despite arguably being the most powerful thing in existence for our species, words sometimes cheapen what something means. It sometimes reduces its value. So words are of secondary importance in regard to what already is. And life is not something to moralize. Life is inherently amoral. What this means is that it's neither good or bad, it just simply is. Now, people say life isn't fair. I'm wondering to myself, was it ever meant to be fair? I mean, fairness is great. Fairness is who we should all strive to be. As a matter of fact, I'd rather be fair than sympathetic. I'm a person, I believe in fairness, I believe in objectivity, and I believe in eliminating all bias. And I think that helps you to be more sympathetic and compassionate. When it comes to making decisions, I do go by a subjective internal logic, and I consider all sides to the best of my ability. If I could go into faction, I'm pretty sure one of them, because I'm divergent, I'm pretty sure one of them would be candor. I'm pretty sure I can see myself in all 5 factions, but I can identify with candor. Then erudite, and then maybe abnegation. I can also see dauntless. I don't know why I'm speaking of divergent, just bear with me. I can see amity too, but I feel like I still have to work on amity. I have to still work on the peace factor. I mean, I'm typically a zen, peaceful person, but peace is something that you really have to cultivate. So yes, you should be yourself because you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. The only thing you have to lose is what's been making you lose all this time. Your false self, your ego. And despite the fact that some people say that meditation can supersize your ego, it can actually help you to be more humble on the flip side. And once again, I can't speak for you, but meditation helps you to become more empathetic. So, if anything, it will make you less egotistical and more aware of the detriments of having an unhealthy, rampant, wild, wild west ego. And as far as I'm concerned, today is Mellow Monday. Mellow Monday. It's been a very smooth, calming day, but a bit rainy on my end. The weather. But you have to be yourself. Because if you're not, you're just going to be what everyone else wants you to be. At some point in time, you have to draw the line and say, I'm not having it. And you have to speak up for yourself. You have to champion your inner underdog. Because sometimes people will not be there to defend you or say what you need to say. No one can speak the words on your lips, so to speak. And as far as I'm concerned, your life is unwritten until you take accountability for your destiny. What do you want to happen in your movie? Because we all have a mind movie. We all have a story we retell ourselves. We all have actors. But you should never be a side character. You should never be a tritagonist. You should never be a deuteragonist. You should never be anything less than a protagonist. You are the protagonist of your story. You are the MVP of your life. You are the central star, the central character who runs the shots. Even in the Final Destination movies, the protagonist outlived them all, just about. This is a crazy reference, but even in the worst case scenarios, the protagonist has the most power and the strongest longevity, if that helps. And when I say be yourself, I want to mean be your false self. I do not mean be egotistical or egocentric. I mean, by all means necessary, try to be your true, egoless, unadulterated, unlimited, infinite, divine, powerful, and limitless version. Because you are not only the mountain, you are the mountaintop. You are the mountaintop. You are an eagle. And eagles know no bounds. Sure, in human form, you are in limited capacity. You are a spirit with limitations, so to speak. But the real you knows no limits. The real you is infinite, divine, limitless, and powerful. And I would like to encourage you to rock the boat. Be a trailblazer. And step outside of your comfort zone. Create your own path. Don't just follow another path that someone set out for you. Create your own path. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail with gladness. Failure is inverted success. Failure is your greatest teacher. Failure is arguably greater than success. Because failure builds character. It builds destiny. It builds motivation to succeed. And yes, failure does hurt. Failure can make you feel vulnerable. failure can force you to deal with all of your insecurities, but failure is well worth the experience. It's invaluable. It's like private education. It's an invaluable teacher who shows you that you have everything it takes to succeed. You may have to tweak your blueprint, dream bigger, work smarter, but you are a success story. All of us are. There is not one person or thing on this planet who has not succeeded at something. And like I've said before, you only have to succeed once to get your big break, to be on national TV, to become a household name, to touch someone's heart like no one else ever has. It just takes one thought, one emotion, one word, one action, one belief, one opportunity to start a dialogue with unfathomable, unprecedented momentum. But I do have to ask you, how serious are you about your purpose? Do you think this is a bunch of hogwash? Are you skeptical? Because quite frankly, I think you should be. I can't tell you what you can or cannot do, but this is my opinion. I think it's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to find a balance between doubting and believing. When you can find the balance between everything in your life, you're prosperous, you're abundant, you're wealthy, you're healthy, you're stable, you're sober, you're enlightened. You're good to go. You are reaping that positive energy when you can find balance. And it's something that you definitely deserve. Because when you find balance, you can see who you really are, as you are not characterized by extremes. You are the calm of the storm. You are calm regardless of the storm. And that is the reason why you can weather the storm and overcome any form of adversity. You can do it. Regardless of what you choose or what mistakes you think you have made, you have all that it takes and then some to come out on top and transmute your external circumstances to match your greatest, most ideal internal condition. And what is this? What does that look like? This is pure 528 hertz. 528 HZ, and if you want to spell it out entirely, HERTZ. I would recommend that you look this up on YouTube. I also have a website called My Miracle Meditations, specifically all about meditation, so I would check that out as well if you are looking for ways to cope with life in a healthier, more constructive manner. So I think I'm gonna put that in the comment section. You can go to mymiraclemeditations.com. It's all about meditation. And since I'm a daily meditator, I can give insight on that, and I post content bi-weekly. And also, if you're new here, you can find me on YouTube at Sovereign and Supreme. Sovereign and Supreme, and I talk more about meditation. I talk more about how to raise your vibration, spiritual enlightenment, and how to be your best, most optimal version of yourself. So I just wanted to inform you about this, as there are countless ways to cope with life, and there are several listed and unlisted reasons why you should just be yourself. People respect you more when you are yourself. It's not just appreciation, it's just not validation, it's just not approval, it's just not tolerating a person. It's deeply respecting an individual who has the guts, the balls to be themselves, to not care what people think, and to be brutally honest, to be authentic and accurate about what you stand for, who you are, and what you will or will not tolerate. And once again, I'd like to encourage you to project your greatest version into the universe. It is okay to feel vulnerable. It is okay to feel like you don't know where else to turn. However you feel at this moment, or however you have ever felt, that is okay. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings don't have to make sense. Your feelings are yours to own. And your feelings matter. What you think matters. It all matters. And sometimes, it's okay to listen to other people. And if they give great advice, I would recommend you take that advice. Regardless of how they say it, regardless if you don't like them, regardless if you don't think they have a right to impart any words of wisdom into you, if it's going to help your life, truly, authentically, thoroughly, consider it. Always take great advice because this could help you on your journey to being you. Like I said, there are always blessings in disguise. We have to get to a point where we're open minded. We can find that unity through diversity, and we can focus on what's truly working. Focus on the positive. Try to be positive in your dealings with people, because some people are difficult. I mean, no matter, it doesn't have anything to do with you, but some people are difficult. They're going to try your patience. They're going to bring the worst out of you, and they're going to make you second guess your best qualities. And that's just life. And this could happen anywhere. This could be anyone. This could be anything. But when you know who you are, you know what you'll tolerate, you know what you'll go for, and I think most importantly, you know how to respond. And I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. In some areas, I'm ignorant. In some areas, I could be smarter. In some areas, I wish that I could redo certain aspects of my life. But you can't change everything. You can't choose the circumstances you were born into. You can't change your family. You can't change your past, but you can heal your inner child, and you can take initiative to be your greatest version today. There's no need to ruminate over the past or worry about the future. But if you do this, that's okay too. Because sometimes we don't know how to do any better than what we've been taught, or what we've been left with, or what we've been deprived or neglected of. What I want to let you know is that all the answers are within. You just have to unlock that chest in your heart so that you can operate from the love frequency, so you can operate from that heart space. And as a person who typically goes with their head when making decisions, because I tend to be balanced, grounded, and rational, I strive to be, level headed. You have to go with your heart. You have to go with your heart on certain circumstances. And sometimes the most important situations require you to bypass your intellect and go with your intuition. I personally think that intuition goes perfectly with logic, but it also goes perfectly with your heart, with your emotions. And once again, you have to find balance here. You have to try to find a balance between your head and your heart so that you can make the best, most informed decisions. So, yes, you should definitely be yourself, because life is not a rehearsal. Life is the real deal. And if you don't want to cheat yourself, if you don't want to feel fake, if you don't want to end up being one of those people who are less than satisfied, you must be yourself. And once again, you are not who you think you are. You are not your emotions. You are not anything that you probably think you are. You're probably not. You are who you unknow yourself to be. You are your unlearned version, your unconditioned version. That is who you are. And as counterintuitive, unconventional, and uncommon this might sound, it's the truth. The real you is unconditioned, unadulterated, dare I say it, unlearned, and unknowing. And when I say unlearned, I don't mean a person who's barbaric. I mean a being at its purest, most potent frequency. You have to peel back the layers to get to the nitty gritty of who you truly are. You have to pluck the weeds out of your garden so that you can harvest an abundant feast of fruits and vegetables in your garden. You have to make sure that your soul is rich with nutrients, prosperity, and fertility. You have to make sure that your seeds are planted the right way. And above all, you have to be a solid, pliable, unstoppable foundation. It's the intelligent thing to do. It's very emotionally intelligent to take everything into consideration, to analyze it, to scrutinize it, and to see what you can do better. While also frequently reminding yourself of all the things that you do right. So it's not being unrealistic, it's not being unhealthy. It's simply taking everything into consideration. Not having unrealistic or unhealthy expectations, but having positive expectations, which leads to positive outcomes. Just in case you're wondering, this today was pajama day, so this is what I'm wearing. I think you can call these thermals and a track shirt. But anyways, I digress. You have to meditate on who you are. And if you don't know who you are, try saying, I am ready to find out who I am. I am ready to find the real me. I am ready to eliminate all the things I am not. I am ready to be the most me that I can be. I am ready to see with the clearest vision my greatest version. I am so happy and grateful that I have the clearest vision to be and thereby project my greatest version into the universe or into the world, however you want to word it. But when you get to a place of being, you lack nothing. You are everything you could have ever wanted. You are everything you've always wanted to be. And that is the ultimate reason why you should be yourself. Ultimately, regardless of what people think of you, that doesn't even matter when it compares to the enlightenment you will experience when you simply be and simply realize that being is the key to freedom and completion. And you do this by remembering that you went through a veil of forgetfulness or Maya, and remembering that your true nature is eyes wide open. Be yourself because that is who you are always destined to be. That is your journey. And no one can tell you what that is. No one can predict that for you. No one can make the right decisions for you. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even look at this as a right or wrong because as of meditation is non-judgmental acceptance. And life in itself is amoral. It just simply is. Sometimes you don't need to add meaning to anything. Other times, your life, and by extension you, is more invaluable when you just embrace the greatness of life, when you embrace the complexities, and you embrace all the hidden intrinsic intrins I can't pronounce it, and all the hidden intricacies of all that is. Because we're the cosmos, we're the universe, we're the source. We are one. And individually and collectively, in the age of Aquarius, we are to remember who we really are. Not the shell, not the body, not the ego, but the soul within that guides your every action. Your subconscious, your unconscious, that is more like the true you. The true you is the mountaintop. And once again, to reiterate, you are powerful, resilient, infinite, divine, and limitless. So be yourself, own your truth, and simply come into oneness with who you are always meant to be. Lead by example and create a path that is destined for freedom and completion. So, love you all, take care, and simply be you. It was a very fun night, and I am wishing you all the best. I'm so happy and grateful to be back on my channel again. Take care.